Finding a hit record takes talent.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the stage, big screen, TV?
It's the A&R Room on Sway in the Morning.
Very special A&R Room. When you say Heather B?
Absolutely. Family is here.
Yeah, man.
Indeed.
Was here not that long ago. Had a really great conversation. And we talked about the Allegory, his album. And it's now here, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Royce, the 5'9".
Yo. What's up, everybody?
What up, though?
How y'all doing?
Good, man. Royce, first thing he asked me, did you see the fight? Come on, man. I want to start off on a high note. Did you call that? Were you betting on Wilder or were you betting on Fury?
I'm always betting on Wilder.
Okay.
I'm always betting on Wilder. I mean, I feel like that punch that he has is the greatest punch I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Straight right hand. Greatest punch I've ever seen. I can't understand where the power is coming from. Skinny legs. You know, like he's not. Did he come in about 10 pounds heavier?
He came about 12 pounds heavier.
Still don't weigh that much for a heavyweight.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? He's built more like a basketball player to me. So I just can't. It's not like he's perfectly throwing it or anything. It's just a velocity that just comes from nowhere. So I just feel like no matter how the fight's going, he has the equalizer. He can always land that one shot that can change the whole, landscape. You know what I mean? But it's just like it was something about that fight. Maybe he was just not on night for him.
Did they stop it? Do you think that it was right for them to stop it?
Yeah, man, you got to think about the fighter first.
Yeah.
To fight another day. You know what I mean? Let him do it a third time.
Let him do it a third time. Royce the 5'9", man. You didn't know he's a boxing aficionado too, right? He's here. Allegory is here, man. I want to jump right into it because it's so many. I told Tracy this morning when I walked in that listening to the project and then the way you correlated the skits and the interludes into the project. Conceptually, I thought it was extremely well done, and I felt like, when I remember I used to go to lecture hall in junior college, and there was I used to hate it until you got that one person that just said everything that kind of grabbed your attention and made you think, and so I walked away from every song thinking like, yo, this shit is pretty dope here. What was his intention, and then how long did it take him to put it together? Because I feel like even with the interludes, I want to start with Mr. Grace in a second. But after each interlude, like from Mr. Grace to Ice Cream to Mrs. Grace to Perspective to A Black Man Favorite Shoe, all these different things that they were designed to be links into the next chapter of the project. What was the thought process for you?
Well, the project started off, I agreed to do an EP.
Okay.
Because, I just started making beats, so.
Right.
It wasn't like I had the confidence to be like, I'm going to produce a project for myself. So it started out as just the EP. The problem with me in doing the EP is that I can't for the life of me figure out how to make 3 or 4 songs exist together, and it feels like it's a complete thought after listening to it. And the only way to really correct that is to add to it. So that's how it ended up becoming the album. So with that said, I need for the entire thing to sound like it's some sort of complete thought there.
Okay.
So that's why I always add skits to albums, just to kind of bring home the theme. But with this particular album, I wanted it to be as scatterbrained as possible. I wanted it to sound like Quentin Tarantino directed it.
Okay.
I wanted it to be very extremely reckless. Like if it was like a painting, this would be the most splashes of paint on a canvas that I've ever done.
Yeah.
I'm talking about very small splashes in the upper far right-hand corner as far as you can. That's why there's not one song on there that's a conceptual song. Everything is thoughts.
So you just got in the booth or got on the pen and pad and wrote to the music, whatever.
Yeah, it's just thoughts because that's just where I am in life right now. Like I'm a sucker for information. Like I really, information is like my thing right now, and I'm taking in information about random things daily. I love reading stuff. I'll be online, I see something, I read it. Hey, that makes me want to read something else. Then next thing you know, I'm interested in something new. You know what I mean? Like it's fun.
You on this album, one of the interludes. I'm gonna jump actually. You get into a really famous melody and hymn that we as children flocked to, kind of like the Pied Piper. Whenever you heard that ice cream truck coming to your neighborhood, you would kind of hear something like this.
Hey, mama. What's an allegory?
An allegory is a story with a subliminal meaning that has a political message based off the writer's moral.
Hey, mama. What's an allegory?
An allegory is a story with a subliminal meaning that has a political message based off the writer's moral.
Can you give me something from the ice cream truck?
Of course, baby.
What's going on, little man? What can I get for you?
Now, for as long as I can remember, the ice cream truck been playing this same song. I bet you don't even know the origin of it, do you? Do you, Mr. Ice Cream Man?
Lady, what the hell are you talking
Allow
about?
me to enlighten you, Mr. Ice Cream Man. A white man named Harry C. Brown made a racist-ass song called Nigga Love a Watermelon. That was in 1916 on Columbia Records. And here you are, 100 years later, coming through your neighborhood, playing the same fucking song. Way to go, Mr. Ice Cream Man.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Ain't you never Titty 69 from 10?
Yeah, man. There are a lot of people whose, this is something I grew up knowing, but there are a lot of people whose bubbles are going to be destroyed by that Ice Cream Man.
You grew up knowing it?
My grandmother taught me about that song.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. But that was rare. Mm-hmm. Like nobody, you couldn't really say that in the streets. It didn't stop me from running up to the ice cream. I was still getting them motherfucking popsicles and all of that. But you didn't know that when you.
Yeah, it's not the ice cream's fault.
Yeah, it ain't the ice cream's fault, right? Yeah, but what does that speak to? Like the subliminally ways we are controlled, or our minds are influenced by things we don't even realize were poison to us, bad for us.
Yeah, well, I would think that it would make you want to at least know a little bit about your history.
Yeah.
That lack of knowledge makes it to where things can be subliminally planted in front of you. Mm-hmm. I still don't like the way the cream of wheat box looks. Mm-hmm. I was just at the store the other day. I seen the cream of wheat box. You know what I mean? And the person on the front is obviously a slave or something similar.
Yeah.
Servant or
mm-hmm.
something. Aunt Jemima, all of these things.
Yep.
I think all of these images need to be removed, and there has to be some sort of outrage in order for them to be removed, and then it just looks like everybody is just tripping. Oh, y'all just tripping. Y'all just no big deal. Right. It's a big deal.
It's a
you
big
know
deal.
What I mean? Like if we're gonna do away with the negativity from the past, let's do away with it altogether. You know what I mean? And if it's not gonna be that way, the least we can do in our community is educate ourselves so we know what we're dealing with, we know what we're looking at, and we're able to comprehend things, you know what I mean? Like, let's tap in for real.
Let's tap in for real. Let's tap into the Dope Man song. Cedric the Entertainer is on there. I didn't, when I first heard the song, now let me ask you, when you wrote this song, who were you talking to? Or who was it directed to?
Just the people. Just
Okay.
the people. Nobody in particular, but I feel like the Dope Man is glorified in our community, and there's a couple of ways to look at that. What kind of dope man are you? Are you the Jay-Z dope man? Because if you are, that's amazing. That's fantastic. You took that and you turned it into a positive. But if you're just the dope man is just selling the drugs that the government implanted into the community, and that's it. That's the ending. That's the end of the chapter. Then no, that's no good. We're not gonna glorify that. And that's it.
Man. That's it. That was all it is. Mama got a fat ass. Man, this I was gonna start reciting. I don't like doing your lyrics because I sound crazy when I do his lyrics. Cause Royce, each song, it's even on certain songs, I almost didn't recognize your voice.
Really?
The tone of your voice sounded different. I don't know if it was not in a bad way, but maybe I was just hearing colors or something because I was so caught up in it. I Don't Age is another song. What's the concept behind I Don't Age?
It wasn't a concept. That was the first. I Don't Age is the first beat of mine that I rap to.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it was just. I didn't even know I was doing the album when I did Out on Age. And I wasn't going to put it on the album, but 6th July, Carlos Brody, he came in and he heard everything. It was like, you can't get rid of that. No, you got to use that. And I was just like, all right, cool, whatever. It's just a song where I'm just rapping.
Where I come from, I tell the jokes and you the joke. Where I come from, I sell the dope and you do the dope. My brethren, I'm not a legend, I'm not a vet. Do not address me as second, I'm the best. You niggas always sleeping, I'd rather stay woke. They say you are what you eat, but I never ate goat.
And look at the ring, Sway.
Some shit you ain't even got to comment on. This album is so much to unfold. We're not going to get to it in 15 minutes, obviously, but we're going to do our best to make sure people stream it. I'm going to play Out on Age, and then we're going to come back and talk to Royce the 5'9", 888-742-3345. Royce the 5'9". I'm not a vet. You are what you eat. I've never ate goat. That was a whole nother song. It's just Royce is here. Bizzle, what's up, man? I know you.
It's bought up. It just go without saying. What you want me to say? I'm just looking at like the title tracks, and I just love the fact that, West Side Gun, Oswin, it's just crazy to me, man. Sorry, it's bars, man. Vince Staple, G Perico, it's crazy. Graph.
Thank you. Yep.
How did you pick who you wanted to be a part of this project?
It's like a song for song type of thing. It's never like before I do a project, I'm thinking to myself, I need features. It just kind of happens. Like such a sound good on this one. You know what I mean? Like I'll start it and be like, ooh, what if such and such got on this? I know with the Graph song in particular, it was originally his song.
I Play Forever.
Yeah. And he asked me to be on it, and he sent it to me, and it was just a loop he was rapping over. The Green Lantern. Shout out to my man Green Lantern. He did it, and then I rapped on it, and I really liked it, like the way that it felt. So I called him and asked him if I can just keep it, and then we do a different song for his project, which is coming out soon. I can't remember exactly the day. So I took it, and then I just added live horns to it and added live drums to it. I did a bass line. I did some things just so I can make sure that I produced it. So I can say I produced it. But it's actually produced by me and Green Lantern.
You and Green Lantern came together.
Yep.
Oh man, play a little bit of that for me. Is it too late?
I fell in love with the street life. I fell in love with the street. That's no lie. No lie, no lie, no lie, no lie. I fell in love with the street life. Look, got a raw deal, not at all chill. Nigga be run up under your fool like shopping cartwheels. My Glock make you hop in cartwheel. For props, your block got a car fill. My name, Dollar Bill, holla y'all ill. Gotcha. Truck tough like I build Tonka. Still conquer with the steel like Contra. Still pop you through your shield.
Yo, Carlos of San Diego, man. I'm only giving you a sample, man. You got the album yourself?
Yes, Sway. I have the album.
Oh, okay, my man.
My brother said, yes, Sway.
Yes, Sway. Okay. Then you have the right to ask a question. Go ahead.
I don't even want to ask any questions, man. I just want to thank Royce. Because this album right here, it gets those conversations started, and then it just plants those seeds into people's head, and it makes people do research on things. Like, for instance, the Ice Cream Man, and like a lot of people don't know where that whole melody comes from, but they hear it and they just go into a trance. Especially as kids, you get programmed and you go into a trance, and like you just focus on the ice cream, and people don't even know where that came from.
1916.
Harry C. Brown. Nigger Lover Watermelon.
Come on, chillin'. Trying to cut a watermelon. Yeah, you George Washington, Henry Clay, Abraham Lincoln, Woodrow Wilson, Jackson. You them Thompson niggas quit rolling them bones and come down and get your ice cream. Ice cream? Yes, ice cream. Cut up ass ice cream. Watermelon. Well, I went down to Cookville the other afternoon. There I saw a yellow girl, her name was Susie Lou. She was sitting on the rail with the heels in the fan. She ate watermelon, the fit to be in the pan.
Now, real slow down, bro. Now, I don't want to give him no publishing. Hold up, man. Let's stop playing it. That shit was in the Three Stooges, the Little Rascals, every little show that we watched growing up.
Yeah. It was a hit.
It was a hit. Los, thank you, man. Enjoy the project and tell a friend, okay?
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
We got Mark from Denver on the line. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Good morning, family. What's up?
What's up, man? Say what up to Royce.
What's up, Royce?
What's up, Mark? How you doing, brother?
All day.
Oh, thank you, man.
Good.
Thank you.
Hey, first of all, I want to congratulate you on this album, man. This is a hell of an album. I've been listening to it all weekend. My question for you is, what made you bring G Perico in? Because his verse on Young World was hard as ever. And were you in the studio with him when he did it to come up with that sound that he did, that cadence?
Nah, I wasn't, unfortunately. That's very hard to do. But yeah, my brother, Mr. Porter, put me up on G Perico. As soon as I heard him, I just loved his voice, and I love the way he approaches the beat, and I love the fact that he has a Jerry curl. I don't understand why more West Coast artists don't do that. And, you know, I feel like it's too many artists only working with other artists based off of the value they think they can bring to the track. I like working with people because I feel like we can make something good together because I like what you do. You know what I mean? So I don't like waiting until somebody blows up. If you haven't really took it to where I know you're gonna take it yet, I'd rather work with you then. You know what I mean? And I'm a fan of him. I wanted, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted other people to be able to hear him like I hear him. You know what I mean? And I don't even know G Perico. I'm just a fan. You know,
He been on Shade 4-5, came on the Sway in the Morning show back in the day.
That's why I pointed out some of the people that you worked with on this album. I
Vince
just
Staples.
think it's dope. Yeah, Sahai, like it's just people that most people would be intimidated to work with. I'll be honest. Like, I mean, you got Benny the Butcher, you got West Side Gun, you got Sahai is a monster. Like, people just stay in their comfort zone and don't want to, you know, have that challenge. But I just think it's dope that you just spread it out like that, for real.
Yeah, thank you.
Oswin too. Shout out to
Oswin
Oz.
Benjamin is on the song On the Block. Y'all sound amazing together with DJ Premier. You know, with G Perico,
Primo.
Vince Staples is on this as
Yeah,
well.
man.
I just can't wait for Oswin and all these guys to open up for you on tour. Because I know you're going on tour, right?
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure I'm gonna go. I didn't get a chance to go last album, so yeah.
You gotta tour this.
Yeah.
You have to tour this.
I love touring. You know, it's just I just love the studio more. I don't know what my problem is. So I just got busy right after Book of Ryan. I did a couple shows with Marshall, and then I ended up in the studio. One thing led to another, and it was already time for something else. So I kind of missed the whole tour thing.
I see what happened. Well, y'all didn't hear the code in that.
Yeah, y'all heard the code.
I did a couple of shows with Marshall. That's all you got to do. 2 shows with Marshall. You ain't got to tour no more in a year. I already know what that is. When you said a couple of shows with Marshall, he ain't got to tour. He good. Look at his suit. Go ahead, Rich Nice.
So clearly, in the MC world, your jersey is in the rafters. I just want to say that your jersey is in the rafters. Unfortunately, in the music business world, they would like us to believe that the rap side of it, there's more accomplishments to be done on the rap world side. When you're creating, do you think about that, or do you just kind of stay in, like, walk us through the process of when you start to create, now that you're doing beats and you're working, does that even come into your mind to think about what the industry is saying?
Nah, I mean, you know, it's you can't make decisions based off of that, because, you know, that's all conflation. That's just, you know, that's marketing dollars being spent to you know, to program the people into thinking whatever it is that they want them to think. The good thing about me is I've been around for a long time, and I made a lot of mistakes. So I'm at a point now where I know exactly what I'm looking at. I know exactly what it is that I see. I know exactly what it is that I want to do. Success becomes more and more subjective. I know exactly what that means to me. And one thing I learned is that, especially if you're an artist that can do many things, like if you're able to accumulate a lot, I learned that you only need to get what you need. I only want just enough that I need. If I have too much, then things start to go bad. You know what I mean? So all I want is what I need, and I know what I need to be successful, to feel successful in my mind, and to be happy. Because, you know, what's the use of having the biggest pool if you can't, if you can't exist in the world where you can't listen to this person's verse, or you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you can't, you know what I mean? Like, you got all this stuff going on, you're not happy, you worried about people calling you, asking you for money, and you worried about, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to fall into those traps, you know what I'm saying?
You've done that before.
I've done that. So I basically just go into the studio and I just write about what I feel.
Nice.
I feel like that resonates the best. It works for me the longest. I know what lighters looks like on a royalty statement. I know what boom looks like on a royalty statement. Lighters was a very big thing for an amount of time. And then it shrinks, and then it shrinks, and then it disappears. Boom just exists. Never a royalty statement where it doesn't exist. And then I go and I do shows. People don't say, yo, do lighters. They say do boom.
Do boom.
So in my mind, boom is my most important song. Not that I'm trying to go in every single session and do boom.
Right.
But I remember the mind frame I was in when I did boom. The mind frame I was in was no pressure. Just be you. It's another day at the office.
Right.
Lighters was like, oh, we going there. We taking it there. You gotta always take it there. No need to reach.
Okay, before you go, man, by the way, this is great. I love listening to Royce talk. In reaction to slithers from a lizard's mouth, Yellow Wolf, this is your first and your last pass. I ain't gonna put it on blast. Your punk ass know what this is about. You think it's about being loud or trying to be hostile till you get found face down on the ground outside of Kid Rock's house. Though you a vulture pundit, I hope you get sober from this. I was surprised you even took a shot at him, but then I wasn't. Why was that necessary? Not even a shot, even mention him, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah, it wasn't a shot. I'm sorry. I saw that. It wasn't even a shot. I'm sorry, my bad. That you even mentioned him. Why?
It was necessary. It was necessary to mention him. I had to, because at this particular moment, that was the only way that I can handle it. Well, let me clarify that. Was not the only way I can handle it, but it was the only way I chose to handle it where it made sense to me. There was plenty of ways I could have handled it, but I opted not to. And it just centers around respect. That's it. He disrespected me. And that does not happen often. And I felt like I needed to address him and hold him accountable in that moment, and then just move on. Yeah.
So he's bound to respond, but that part of moving on means that's it for you?
Nah, because it's not a rap thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He responded. He put up a post and deleted it. You know what I mean? Which, whatever, that's cool. But yeah, it never was a rap thing. It never was a thought in my mind to go back and forth. Listen, man. If I'm gonna have conversations about things, they're gonna be realistic conversations. If I'm gonna rap, if we're gonna talk about rap, or if I'm gonna rap against somebody, it's gonna be a realistic thing. You know what I mean? Like Royce the 5'9" and Yellow Wolf could never be a thing.
Okay.
When it comes to rapping, that could never be a thing, ever, ever. If you're talking about Royce the 5'9" and Lupe Fiasco,
then that could be
that's
a thing. That's a thing.
If you're talking about Royce the 5'9",
Kendrick,
Black Thought, Kendrick,
yeah,
J. Cole,
yeah,
Eminem,
yeah,
Jay-Z, Nas, that could be a thing.
Yeah.
Yellow Wolf, never could be a thing. Never.
The Allegory in stores now. Listen, it's so much on this album. This ain't one of those things, man. It's one of those things you're gonna live with. You gotta live with it, sit with it, breathe on it, sleep on it, do a whole lot. It's great, man. You put together a great project.
Thank you, man.
Congratulations. We all been waiting for it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you on tour. You got the label too, right?
Yeah, Heaven Studios. That's the label. It started out just a studio, and it's starting to feel more like a hub. We're doing a lot of work over there. I'm mentoring a lot. I'm letting a lot of young artists come in and just use the facility just to kind of, just to practice and develop. I feel like the development portion of artistry is missing. It's missing in the game today. And we never want to let technology get us to a point where, it's making it to where kids don't even know how to develop. That affects the overall landscape, like the music. You know what I mean? We can't allow that to happen. We don't want to disappear like rock and roll. You know what I mean? Like we gotta take steps just to make sure that we always exist. So we have an obligation to the next generation, to indoctrinate them with information and make them great. Make them as good as possible, keep them confident, and make them smart. Yeah. Make them smart. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. Like, we all got vices and stuff like that, but let's not glorify the wrong thing 100% of the time. 24 hours a day, we talking about the wrong thing. Yeah. Let's talk about the right things, too. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
You need that balance.
Yeah.
Royce the 5'9".